Robots Radio presents
Fresh Tomatoes, the movie podcast.
I'm not usually a hat fan, but wow.
Jeg vil ikke være en dagger.
I'm really sipping on that dumb bitch juice today, and
Yeah, I am. But you know what? Someday I just might grow out of that. But you will never stop being a jerk.
All chocolate cakes are good. You're a fascist.
it's hideous.
It's horrible.
It's home. Angry white boy, let's go!
Hello, and welcome to Fresh Tomatoes, the movie podcast, the enigma wrapped in a mystery that just makes you come back until you are dead. That's Simone LaRue.
And that's Chad Ekowitz, just starting with a bang, Chad.
Hey, Simone, we are into spooky season. We're right into the depths of it, and you've just gotta, you know that there's gonna be blood, there's gonna be guts, there's gonna be just visceral murder and screams, bloodshot eyes. That is what I love about this month. This is why this is the best month of the year.
How are you enjoying it so far? I personally am overwhelmed by the amount of horror that I need to catch up on, but I rise to a challenge.
I am so very excited. Like, it couldn't have actually worked better that I am moving out this month, because it means that I will be in my own place and I can just put on scary movie after scary movie after scary movie.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be like, am I going to be scared because I will be living alone? Yes. Will it be worth it? Probably not. Am I still going to do it? 100%.
You absolutely should. I 10 out of 10 can recommend having a cat with you, because I know, obviously, as we all know, cats can see ghosts. So if your cat is relaxed, it's okay.
Okay, that's a good shout. What I'll do is I'll just steal one of my parents' cats, because I'm not technically allowed pets in my new place. But if I just steal one of theirs, like, I'm technically not owning it.
I've hidden a cat from my landlord before. It's fine.
Ooh, aren't you just the sneaky little bad tenant?
It was just like I thought that our contract said cats were allowed, so we got a cat, and then it said with permission of the landlord, and we hadn't gotten his permission yet. So he came by to like fix something, and I just like shoved Oliver in the cupboard. He was still a kitten. He was fine. Shoved in the cupboard, and I was like, by the way, could we get a cat? And he was like, yeah, totally, get a cat. And then the next time he came, there was this like semi-grown kitten.
Yeah.
He's like, that was quick.
That's so good. Oh, well, at least he said yes. Otherwise, I mean, just endless shenanigans would have ensued after that, right?
Oh yeah. Me hiding. Luckily, the landlord didn't come by too often, so it was fine. But
yeah, that's good. That's good. Does Rudy watch the horror movies with you, or is he sort of quite anti-horror movies?
So he doesn't like love them as much as I do. So he wants to watch other movies occasionally. I know. So usually I reserve like the ones that have gotten good reviews to watch with him, and then the ones that I know are going to be like a little bit shit or like not up his alley, I'll just watch by myself.
That's fair. And how are you finding this horror spooky season? I mean, you said you've got lots to catch up on.
I am overwhelmed.
It's great though.
Yeah, I'm loving
so happy about it.
Especially the thing is, and I love it, is there's so many more horror like series coming out now, and that's great, obviously, because like you can explore the concept so much more, you can build the tension so much better. But it's so much more time.
Exactly, especially with sort of like how you do horror movies and stuff, and like even horror series, like they're usually like an hour long. You can't sort of do it in a half hour. It just wouldn't work. It's just simply too short a format to build that tension just for the episode to end, and you're having to build that tension over again. It's but you know what, I'm happy about it. We've got all these wonderful things coming out, and it's gonna be a wonderful spooky season.
Super excited.
As of recording, it's October 3rd, and it's just a month of just happiness and joy ahead of us. It's going to be great. It's going to be so good.
And shall we begin with a very strong set of movies?
Yes, we should. After the foundations we built last week, I'm so glad that we are building a horror house on these two movies, which are Escape Room and Escape Room Tournament of Champions. I was so happy that you chose these movies. I mean, I haven't seen either of these, and I was like quite hesitant to see them, but you know what? Just exceptional work.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's totally understandable that like you'd see it and be like, I don't know, this seems pretty stock standard, but like they really exceed expectations.
They really do. They really do. They do such a good job. It's awesome. And well, I mean, since they're sort of, you know, sequential, and I'm gonna do escape room, we'll just get straight into it. But before we do, what are you drinking today?
I'm having a tea because my tummy is sick.
Yeah, you poor little pickle. You need to feel better, and that's right. Is it just like
Yeah.
a normal tea? Is it a healing tea?
It's a
What's in your
rooibos tea.
Oh, lovely. That will settle your stomach.
Yeah, because rooibos tea, if you're South African, rooibos tea is for when you're sick.
Yeah,
it cures everything. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm having it in an enormous mug that I can wrap my hands all the way around.
It's perfect for our YouTube. For those who aren't viewing this on YouTube, you're really missing out on Simone just living her witchiest life. You know, really savoring that cup of tea.
Got a cardigan on.
It's perfect. You know, she's got 2 cats. If there was just candles all around you, it would be.
I wish.
Just, you know, on point. You would basically be Taylor Swift.
Oh, stop it. And what are you drinking?
You know, well, that's the thing. For 2 spooky people, I too am drinking a nice cup of tea in my girlfriend's little lamb mug.
Oh,
look
cute.
at this little guy. He's a little adorable little lamb. Yeah. Well, I'm driving back home later, so I don't want to be, you know, intoxicated. Yeah. Drive safe, kids. You know, that's the one thing that we'll always say. So for 2 spooky people, we're lovely drinking a lovely cup of tea.
Oh, look at us. Don't worry, guys. We'll pick up speed again next week.
Absolutely. It will be, from my end at least, I can promise you it will be cheap liquor because I am moving in next week. And so it will be whatever is like on the bottom shelf. Basically.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Been there.
Yeah. So, shall I tell you about Escape Room?
Please do.
I mean, there's not a lot to say, purely on the basis that, you know, a lot of this is visual. Yeah. But I will just run through it.
Yeah,
so, yeah, exactly. So, Zoe Davis, played by Taylor Russell, is this really timid, quiet student who goes to apparently a university in America. But those of you who watch very closely realize that it is actually the University of Cape Town.
What? That was such a nice surprise. I didn't notice that the first time I watched it. And then I was like, oh, it's UCT. That's my lecture theater.
I couldn't believe it. It blew my mind, and I said it to Georgette because she was watching it with me, and she was like, "Your university looks amazing," and I was like, "I know,
it's beautiful."
It's stunning. So yeah, this was great. So anyway, Taylor is sort of doing, you know, applied physics or some crazy degree, and she's super smart, but she is also really, really shy. She doesn't go out anywhere with any of her friends. She doesn't really speak up in class. She just kind of keeps to herself and does this. You eventually find out that she has actually been through a lot of trauma, where her and her mum were flying to Vietnam, and unfortunately there was a plane crash, and she was the sole survivor, and hence why she is so quiet and withdrawn. Over the summer break, she is alone in her dorm, and she gets a weird package. It's this little black box that says, "Solve this mystery for a prize," or whatever. In the meantime, we meet a whole host of other characters. So you've got Logan Miller, played by Ben Miller. He's this sort of, he works at a grocery store. He's this very downtrodden kind of guy. You've got Jay Ellis, played by Jason Walker, played by Jay Ellis, who is this big, rich investment banker in New York who, like, you know, does stocks and shares and is like a big hotshot. Then you've got Mike Nolan, played by Tyler Labine, who's this old sort of Jack Black kind of character. He's just this funny old man who just like goes around everywhere and does like fun things and is just like the sweet old father like kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you've
strong
got
dad
Amanda
energy with that one.
Very strong dad energy. You just want to give him a cuddle. Then you've got Amanda Harper, played by Deborah Ann Wall, who's this like super cool badass chick who fought in the Iraqi war, and she's just really, really cool. And then finally you've got Danny Khan, played by Nick Dodani. Sorry. So he's also this super nerdy, cool little kid who really, really loves puzzles and escape rooms. So those are the core cast. They all receive these little black boxes, and they're sort of puzzles. So as they're like moving and manipulating the box, like little bits open, and eventually a card pops out that says they have been invited to an escape room, the best one in the world, and if they win, they get $10,000. All of them accept, all of them go to this place, and they start to talk to each other, and you learn a bit more about their characters, and you learn sort of who they're going to be in this whole thing. That's when the shenanigans start to ensue. they have been brought to a waiting room, but it turns out that the waiting room is actually the first escape room. In this room, the ceiling is actually a giant oven, and if they don't get out of the room fast enough, they're all going to cook to death. Luckily, no one dies in that one. They go through the second room. Danny dies. Let's just get his name right. Danny dies in the second room, which is like an ice room. He falls through the ice and gets drowned. Then they move into the next room, which is a bar, but it's upside down. That's where Amanda Harper dies. She sacrifices herself for the rest of the team. Then in the next room,
it's their hospital rooms.
Yeah, it's the hospital room. Mike dies there, I think. I feel like he dies there.
He has a heart attack.
Yeah, he has a heart attack because basically Jason's character is being an asshole and he wants to survive no matter what. It also looks at that room that Zoe has died as well because she's like smashing all the cameras so that that's
also where they discover the connection between all of them.
Yes. They all like learn that they are survivors of horrible accidents. So like Ben, he survived a horrible car crash because he was drunk driving. Jason survived a boat wreckage and hypothermia. Mike survived a fire.
I totally do not remember what happened to Mike.
What happened to Mike? I'm trying to remember, and I literally cannot remember what his vibe was.
Mining cave-in.
Mining accident. And when he watched his brother died, Amanda was an Iraqi vet and she survived a IUD blast. And then Danny was poisoned. That was it. It was carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah.
He survived a carbon monoxide poisoning. Yes, but he didn't even make it that far. So yes, Zoe starts to like smash cameras in this room, trying to like stop whoever's doing this from
watching them,
seeing them. Yeah, so she like pretends to faint and whatever. Ben and Jason are the only ones to move on because Jason's like, I'm gonna survive everything and fuck everyone else. They go into the final room, gets a bit creepy, but somehow Ben is able to survive and Jason dies. They go into the next the final room. Jason tries to get out, but it looks like he fails. That's when Zoe comes back. She sort of like kicks everyone's asses who are like the game organizers. The game organizers, it's called Wu-Tan Yu. And basically she saves Ben and they try to escape and they get out. Luckily, just as they're getting out, it cuts to sort of the game masters basically saying that they are thinking of bringing Zoe back for another game because, they survived this one and they basically are setting up for a second one. The end.
The end. What is your cliffhanger?
Ooh, cliffhanger for this one would have to be the ending with the game master who like is telling Ben about like his winning and everything, and he's just like, oh, do you think the horse at the Grand National gets the prize? And then like strangles him.
Yeah.
Good scene.
Yeah, that was a great line. That meant his accent's South African, right? Like he sounded very South African.
He sounded South African, but could have also been English, but also a little American. He was kind of all over the place. And I like
that's why I assumed he was South African.
Exactly. You can always, if your accent's all over the place, you're South African. That's the usual way it goes. But yeah, like honestly, this movie was brilliant, like from start to finish. I love a good escape room. I don't know how you feel about escape rooms.
I love an escape room. I love solving puzzles. It's so fun for me, and I love even more than that watching other people do it. I thought that this was really. I thought the rooms here were really well done too. Like the clues, it's not. I think if you're doing any kind of horror movie based off of a game, and this is something we've talked about before, is it has to be winnable, like even a little bit, even if it's totally unfair, it has to be winnable if the characters are smart enough.
Yeah, 100%, exactly.
And I think this is a really good balance of like stuff that does seem very straightforward to solve, but also like obviously there's like a crazy time limit and like they're under extreme physical conditions. Like the one room's very hot, the other room's like extremely cold. The other room, the ceiling keeps or the floor keeps falling out from under them. Like just like the stakes like that were so good because the puzzles themselves are actually very straightforward to solve. It was just actually like maneuvering the rooms that was very difficult.
Exactly.
I loved this. I was tense the whole way through.
Yeah, yeah, you just feel so uptight like the whole time, like your shoulders are raised because you really care for all of these people. I mean, all of them are just so nice, and they kind of all like bond very, very quickly. And I
They
mean, I
show
guess you
that
would in that
so
situation.
well. They show it
But they
really
do show really, really well, and it's beautiful. And like you say, like the puzzles themselves aren't particularly difficult, but add the element of you're going to die, and it just becomes just completely mental
Very
and
intense.
yeah, very, very intense. And what I really loved about it as well is like the fact that it was this constant wave where it was like, okay, things are getting really, really, like it starts off slow and very calm, and everyone's very calm, and then it sort of ramps up and ramps up and ramps up and ramps up, and then they move on to the next room and it calms down again, and it ramps up and ramps up, and it's just like this never ending cycle of just being like, okay, we're safe again, but we know something bad is about to happen yet again. And it was just really nice to like couple that with still working in a decent story. Like it wasn't just all about sort of like murdering these people that we don't care about. You actually learn about these people, and you learn to like really appreciate their backstories and actually care for them. And you know, even though some of them were like absolute shitheads, like you're still like, you're actually a nice guy. Like I appreciate you.
I think that was also the thing I liked, was I think especially with a movie like this that has like an objectively silly premise, you know, they really could have leaned into all the wrong things, right?
Definitely.
They could have, you know, stereotyped, oh, this guy's the jerk because he's a businessman, and this guy's like a burnout, but like all of them prove to be like different from what you would expect, and very like lovable. Like I really liked all of the like there's no real judgment from the script writers or from anyone else about the scenarios that these people have survived, right? Like the one guy, he survived because he was drunk driving. He killed all of his friends. He's never portrayed as a bad guy. Like it's clear that he's really cut up about it. It's clear that like it's something that like follows him wherever he goes, kind of thing. And even Jason, who it's kind of revealed that he probably murdered his friend in a hypothermic rage trying to get the jacket. Like, I mean, hypothermia does actually make you insane. So even then, like, there's not actually that much judgment. I mean, if anything, Jason's just like, he's too panicked and he's not like acting like a rational human being would act. And I thought that was cool. I thought it was just like, they did a really good job of showing these people who have been through trauma, who have like survived really horrible things, trying to deal with the situation at hand. And it was just so well done. I loved that Amanda and Zoe bonded very early on. Like Zoe helping Amanda through her panic attacks was just like so well done, so nice. Like all of the actors did an amazing job. Like I have nothing but praise for this movie. It was really like, they didn't have to go as hard as they did on all those relationships and stuff, but it took it from like a fun movie to an actually really good movie.
Absolutely. And it was the fact that like what I really loved about the sort of beginning as well is like almost everyone faced their room, because like sort of the rooms were designed to face everyone's fears and deal with their fears. And I mean, apart from Danny, most of, if not everyone, sort of faced their room, which was really, really cool to watch. And it sort of, you know, goes to the whole retribution kind of thing. And working together as a team, and it was really, really beautiful. And I think, you know, coming to the ending conclusion where you've got these masterminds who are like, you know, we wanted to see if there was anything special about people who were lone survivors and see what the situation was. It was just a really cool touch. It wasn't sort of just like, oh, we want to fuck these people up. Oh, and coincidentally, they were all lone survivors. It was actually purposefully done. And the rooms were beautifully engineered to be responsive to those people. And that was just really well thought out. And lovely, absolutely lovely, because it added yet another element to this. There was so many layers on layers, and it was just fan-bloody-tastic.
I mean,
and the acting as well.
I think people maybe avoid this movie because they think it's like Truth or Dare, the bad one, or any of those game based movies that are just like so shit. But this is
people are just like tired guys, of Saw as well.
If you check out nothing else, like check out this one. This is like one of the better examples, basically since we watched The Good Truth or Dare, by I think the one from the Sci-Fi Channel, that had a very similar vibe for us. Like, this is just really well done. It leans into all the stuff it should lean into and doesn't like take the very tempting road of like depending on ridiculous stereotypes or tropes. It's really refreshing.
Yeah. And it's smart. It's really, really smart. And it's exactly how people would react in these situations. Like, no one panics or anything. No one sort of like, you know, loses their shit. Like, it was just awesome, like the full way through. And I think, as well, like with everyone sort of being very oversaw, it's hard to make another sort of torture movie. But this isn't gore porn. This is Saw without the gore porn, which is perfect because who likes gore porn? Really? Stop.
Not me. I'm not a fan.
No. So Golden Nugget of this
the whole thing,
spectacular.
Everything. Yeah, but I would say maybe Amanda and Zoe. I thought that they established a bond between them really quickly. And also, as we know in horror movies, there tends to be this fun thing they do where they pit the women against each other. Like it's the most bizarre thing. But in fact they bond straight away. Like, I don't know, every character in this is like likable or lovable in different ways.
No, I totally agree with you.
Oh, and last caveat, absolutely. If you're trying to raise someone's heart rate, Jason, you don't use a defibrillator.
What a dumbass. Like it does the opposite of that.
All you have to do is jog around the fucking room, dude.
Hold your breath. Hold your breath. Really, really simple. And then hyperventilate. Like, really easy to, you don't need a defibrillator. You just wanted to murder that guy. Yeah. Like, that is it.
I don't know. Yeah. Does he know what a I can't. Anyway.
No.
That was my little gripe.
Yeah, fair enough. I completely agree with you. It was insane. And then to do it again, it was like, no,
such a dummy.
My golden nugget for this is like the little moments where you go, oh, yeah, and like you come to the realization. Like the one that really stood out for me was with the water in the first room. So like one of the challenges for those who haven't watched it, one of the challenges is you have to put the table has 4 coasters and you have to put something to weigh them down so you could get into the next room, and they kind of fuck it up without reveal. Like, I don't want to reveal too much because this movie is so good and you need to check it out for these things, but they fuck it up. And when you kind of in your head realize that they fucked it up before they realize that they fucked it up, you're just like, this is so good. This is genius. Yeah, and it was like those preemptive steps that were just I loved about this movie.
Yeah, awesome. I think it's tough to like do things with like puzzle games like that because you don't want it to be so easy that the audience is like screaming at the characters, but you also don't want it to be so hard that the audience can't follow what's happening.
Exactly.
And I thought this was done really, really well. It's clear they worked with people who make actual escape rooms.
Exactly, absolutely. So I mean, we definitely wouldn't recommend this one, right?
Oh my God, stay well clear.
Yeah, never watch
tell
this
all
film,
your friends.
ever.
Seriously, it's highly enjoyable.
If you watch nothing else this spooky season, watch The Escape Room.
And I'm pretty sure it's PG.
Yeah, they don't really swear or anything.
There's not
there's
even
no boobs.
that much blood or anything really.
Yeah, it's very chill. It's actually a very, very chill film. Yeah, definitely watch it. Brilliant. Well, how about you tell me about the sequel, the Tournament of the Champions?
Okay. So we basically kick off more or less right where we left off. Zoe and Ben are still very keen on getting some revenge and exposing them for what they are. What's it called? Minos?
Minos. Yeah.
Minos. I think it's Minos.
Minos. That sounds right. Minos, the company.
And exposing Minos and getting people to like really take it seriously because Minos is really good at covering their tracks. For example, after the last movie, they were able to fake the deaths of everyone by like saying like someone died in like a biking accident or whatever. So yeah, no one believed them. So Zoe solves the puzzle in their logo to find a bunch of coordinates that match up to a building in New York. Ben agrees to go with her to try it out. While they're traveling there, it's very clear that they both have very severe trauma resulting from their experience. Ben especially has nightmares and panic attacks. So they get to New York. and they end up on the subway. When they're on the subway, the walls start closing in figuratively. The subway car is an escape room. The other people on the car start freaking out, saying things like "not again," and boom, it turns out that everybody else on the subway is a survivor of Minos escape rooms. So you have Nathan, played by Thomas Cockerell. He was in a group cohort. I want to say cohort. He was in a cohort that was all priests and religious people to see if like faith can really help you. You have Rachel Ellis, played by Holland Roden. She was in a group of people who can't feel physical pain, so obviously she had to go through some like fucked up stuff. We have Brianna Kohler, played by India Moore, who was in a group of people who were all influencers. Then we had Theo, played by Carlito Olivero. They don't really say what his group was from.
Yeah.
So there they are, battling it out again.
Here we go, gang.
As they move through the escape room, Zoe realizes that there is a story being told, but she doesn't know whose story it is really. And she's trying to solve it the whole time. She's trying to escape. People get wiped out. There are many escape rooms. Obviously, the subway car is the first. The inside of the subway car becomes more and more electrified as time goes on. So they're racing against the clock. Very painful looking. The next is like a beach scene where the middle starts turning into quicksand and collapsing in on itself. Then is like a cityscape with acid rain. That's fun. And what's the last? Okay, anyway. So Zoe thinks that she has lost Ben during the beach one, and she is devastated, but obviously she has to keep going through the escape rooms. Finally, Zoe's the sole survivor of the acid rain room. But when she wakes up after she's escaped it, she's in a nice clean room. Someone's looking after her, and she's like, what is this? She opens her eyes, and there is a woman behind a glass wall who is... Sorry, it's not like right where I want to see it.
That's the magic of editing.
You know? Oh, it's Claire, played by Isabel Furman. She says that her father, Henry, played by James Frayne, is the one who's designed all of the rooms, and she's been forced to help all of this time after the untimely death of her mother. And she says her father has trapped her in this room to force her to help him design these games, and she needs someone's help to get her out. That's why she actually designed the rooms with little escape hatches. So she saved Ben, and no one else apparently. She saved Ben, and she got Zoe there so she could get Zoe's help escaping. So the final escape room is essentially Zoe helping Claire escape her room. There's like a code on the wall that she figures out. Zoe helps Claire escape. This all seems very easy. Claire and Ben get out. Minos is about to be exposed. And then we see Claire confront her father, and it turns out that actually Claire is a psycho who killed her own mother. And her father's been keeping her locked up. He's been letting her help design the games, but he's been dulling them down and making them just a little less insane. And she says now that she's unleashed, she's going to make the games crazier than ever. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, boy. Very exciting times.
That actress, she's the orphan in Orphan. If you were wondering where you recognize her from.
Thank you. Yeah, it was really bugging me because like I could see her face and I was just like, where are you from? Yeah, brilliant.
Just imagine her absolutely with a Ukrainian accent, and then you're there.
And then you're there. So what's your cliffhanger for this one?
My cliffhanger is this one, and it's on the train where they all realize that they how they know each other.
We're all through Minos.
I thought it was
that's
really
great.
well done. I thought it was cool seeing like a full spectrum of reactions. Of different people being like, "Oh, sweet Jesus!"
It was awesome.
I've got a cat.
Go get your cats.
Come in, you silly boy. You're a silly boy.
Oh.
Oh. Okay, but Magnus, I want to move the chair.
Oh, he's being such a silly boy.
He just gets so needy. Yeah.
Hey,
needy time for
what you
me.
being? Why are you being needy? That's fine. It's great. He's like over your shoulder.
Okay, we were saying
Yeah.
about everyone realizing and like it.
Yeah. It was really cool because like, you know, you could immediately see how afraid these people were. Like they all had PTSD.
Yeah.
Like it was really scary. And like the main guy who was deaf from the games,
Yeah.
he was just like freaking the fuck out straight away, and it was
Yeah.
brilliant. Because like these again, and I think this is like what we said with the last one, you know, people have in these movies, like people have really strong and good reactions like they would in real life.
Yeah,
so
totally.
You've just gone through this fuck off awful game, and then you immediately are going to have PTSD. Like this is going to be the worst fucking thing to ever happen to you. And so it was perfect. Like that reaction in the training, like you've still got to deal, like if you want to survive, you've got to play their game, but you are also dealing with a fuck ton of issues that are going to be brought up in this, and it's stunning. It's stunning to watch.
And it's also cool, like, because the puzzles are clearly harder because all of these people have done escape rooms before, right? So they all know what to look out for. Like there is like kind of a weird logic to escape rooms where you just have to like it's a very specific type of thinking, and obviously all of them have acquired it.
Yes, exactly. And that I thought that was very cool as well, is the fact that like even in the first one, like they worked really well together, but even, you know, everyone was newbies, so they didn't know how it worked, and it was basically like Danny or Zoe figuring them out with very little help from anyone else. And then in this one, everyone was just like bossing it and like really pushing like the limits and like, you know, helping each other, going through different things, dividing each other. And yeah, it was perfect. It was what we needed from like an experienced team. And the challenges were just so good in that respect too.
Yeah, really, really smart. Oh, I forgot that there was like a whole bank one with like lasers. That was fun.
That was cool. Yeah, loved the bank one where they had to like bleed on the paper. Very, very smart. Very cool. Yeah. I think this one, in my opinion, was a little bit sloppier than the last one.
It was definitely a little less strong for me.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, the explanation of why these other people survived was very loose, in my opinion, because, you know, at the end of the first one, they say that they never leave any survivors. Even the winner doesn't, you know, actually win, they get murdered. And they approach this in this film, but it's sort of like brushed away. And then also it's like, it's hinted that these are new games that have just happened.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, like, it looks like Zoe's game kind of happened very recently after the next one.
Yeah, the timeline is super unclear.
Yeah. So that kind of, I was just like,
unless they just run a bunch of concurrent games at once, which like, truly, how are you keeping this a secret? The manpower alone.
Exactly, the organizational skills and the cleanup afterwards. Oh my gosh, exhausting.
Exhausting. Huge organization.
Yeah, so
working
I thought
with
that
contractors, you know, like what?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Who are your builders in this? How are they keeping sturm?
How are you explaining this to them? Okay, so yes, no, I need the security system to have like really real lasers though.
Yeah, but you do realize like that's against safety and all our safety
regulations.
Right?
No, we wouldn't use it on people. Oh my god.
I mean, okay, that's good enough for me, I guess. I'll do it. All right, fine. Yeah, okay.
I always think about like logistically, like so if we wanted to turn the sand into quicksand, in theory, how would we?
Yeah. Oh, that's not possible. Okay, but what if it were like this feels just like rich people being like, all right, how much money would it cost to do this impossible thing? No, I don't think you get what impossible means. Yeah, but I have a lot of money.
And your argument might be like, oh, probably, you know, they have these like brilliant engineers that figure all this shit out. There still need to be like builders. Like surely there are workers who are like, wait, what the fuck are we building? Like what?
Absolutely. Are we the baddies?
Why skulls though?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like immediately like the cleanup team as well. Like,
Yes.
there's a lot of people that have got to keep very quiet about this. And like also with the abandoned railway scene in this second one, like how did you, like logistically speaking, like this is very, very
Who
difficult
did
to
you
do.
bribe to be like, listen, so we're gonna disconnect a car from the very end. Don't even worry about it.
Don't worry. Yeah. We'll somehow get everyone here perfectly and it will just run so smoothly. New York, don't worry. We're gonna
All I
like
can
use
say
a
is they
lot of
must have
electricity.
amazing pay and benefits.
Yes, the best. This is a company you'd want to work for, actually.
Yeah, so much vacation time. It's obscene.
Oh my god. Like you'll be stressed for about like 3 months while everything's getting set up, and then like the rest, like the other 9 months of the year, just gold.
Chilling.
Just absolute gold. Absolutely.
Would I keep my silence for that?
Yeah, definitely. I'm not above it.
I feel like, you know what, if I've got enough plausible deniability for like some good dental benefits and enough vacation time, like
exactly. You know what? Fine. It would
oh,
be
they're
fun.
gonna
It would
they're
also be like a
putting
really fun
they're
job.
doing a retirement plan. Great.
Oh no. I guess, I'll just have to keep going. In this economy,
Exactly.
You gotta do these things.
This is exactly how evil's allowed to thrive, guys.
Oh, capitalism, you wonderful, wonderful thing. So what else about this movie? Like how you yourself said it was a little bit more sloppy, like you didn't feel it as much. Talk me through your feelings.
I don't know, it just didn't have the heart of the first one for me. I don't really know how to explain it. It felt maybe like they were also leaning on a lot of the same stuff that the first one leaned on. It didn't, to me, like the rooms and stuff didn't really introduce anything new conceptually. It was fine. It was fun. Like I enjoyed it. I don't think it was a bad movie.
Yeah.
I have to say I'm pretty embarrassed that it took me a while to see the twist coming at the end that actually Claire was the bad guy.
Low key, I didn't see it at all.
Oh, thank God. Okay, it wasn't just me.
Like
towards the end, I was like, what if? No.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm very impressed. I mean, my girlfriend, she figured it out. She nailed it. She was like, that bitch is evil. And I was like, no, there's no way.
That's because she was an orphan.
Don't be orphanist. But yeah, she caught it. She caught it straight away. And I was like, and then the twist happened and I was like, oh wow, I should have seen that. I am watching way too many bad movies. Yeah. But yeah, like I completely agree with, like, I think though with the B plot, with it being like, it's the daughter trying to leave clues to escape, they could have hit that a little harder. You know what I mean? Like, it was really subtle throughout the rooms, lots of mom and daughter motifs and that kind of thing. But it wasn't strong enough to be and Zoe didn't figure it out either. Like, and then it felt very forced at the end when it was sort of like, oh, I know all about you, girl in the cage. No, you fucking didn't, Zoe. Don't lie to us.
Yeah. Zoe, what?
Yeah, you're lying. So I felt like the B plot could have been a lot stronger. And I mean, we had already had a really good movie about, the escape room. So now let's do, add something extra into it. Just like a little bit of a booster. Yeah. And it also felt very Hunger Gamesy.
It did. I'm, if the third one comes out, which I imagine it will Claire,
it will.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, without a question. Do you think Zoe's gonna be back? Do you think Zoe's gonna be back for this third one?
Oh, shame. I hope not.
Yeah, I hope they let her go. I hope they just like let her leave and live a really positive and happy life. She's been through 2 of these, and same with Ben.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Just let them move along.
Exactly. There's not really much else to say about this one, is there?
No.
I mean, it's kind of really similar to the other one. I thought the twist was fine.
Yeah, I thought like as far as sequels go, it was pretty clever to do like a best of the best type thing. I thought that was like a cool angle to pursue. Like I would have just rolled my eyes so hard if I had to watch like the one with 5 priests or fucking whatever. Yes. So yeah, no, I thought it was a good choice. It was entertaining. I think it didn't blow my mind like the first one did. And
Yeah. Again, like all the characters are delightful. You like all of them. There's not one that you hate. But again, it's very samey. It's very
I did
similar.
have a special soft spot for
out.
the influencer one, actually. I found her very
She was so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it was the one who couldn't feel pain. I really
She was so cool.
appreciated how she was sort of like, you know, helping everyone through things. And their death scene in the rain was like really touching.
I was so mad. I was like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. That was a dick move. That was
that was not cool.
Move. Yeah. So golden nugget for this one?
For me, I did find it interesting them going through like what all the different groups, how I don't know how to explain this, like how different sets of people were chosen. So basically the other kinds of games that happened beforehand, I thought that was like very interesting and very creative, that they had like a whole influencers one, and people who couldn't feel pain, like shudder to think.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think like it would have been really cool to see those other ones, maybe not the priest one, you know, but like, you know, if they did like a series of these, it would actually be pretty sick to do. But yeah, no, I thought that was nice. And like even the lone survivor one, so it was clearly like themed, which was cool. You know, those rich, evil, diabolical people, they love a good theme. They love it.
Don't we all?
Yeah, exactly. I would love for there to be a podcasters one and we're on it. That would be unbearable to watch. Just a bunch of people who love the sound of their own voice. Could you imagine?
I would hate us. I'd hate us.
Yeah. You'd want everyone to die.
We wouldn't survive. I mean, we'd be fine. We've talked about this. We've talked about situations where we wouldn't survive. The cold one, I would not have managed.
No, you would have been awful. Yeah. The heights one, I would be useless. I would have been useless.
You don't like heights.
Yeah.
That's true.
I hate heights. So I would have been useless.
Oh, and also by like the third, fourth room, I'm starting to get hungry. It's over for me.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And I'm sleepy by room 4. Like, I'm gonna be a grouch. That's not gonna be any fun for anyone. No. And then the last room where it's like super loud. Yeah, that's not a vibe.
No.
Yeah. Strobe lights and loudness.
Oh, and they were like, they got drugged, right? Like they were really high. That was my sister and I were sitting there trying to figure out like what they dosed them with, because there's an antidote, and we were like, nothing really has an antidote.
Yeah, exactly.
Though.
Like you can't just like take something and be like cold from drugs. Like that would be amazing.
No, that room,
that was a weird
kind of
room.
Like it wasn't the most impressive escape room, but I do appreciate the concept of just being high off your face. The whole room looks like static.
Exactly.
Yeah, not fun.
Yeah, no. I think for me, like my golden nugget for this one was probably sort of the relationship between Zoe and Ben. Like it's sort of like, are they in love? Are they just mates? Like, what's the vibe? And then, you know, Zoe's trauma over like losing Ben or thinking she's lost Ben, given the fact that she forced him basically into this situation again, and like how guilty she feels. I thought that was a really touching moment. Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think their relationship was really well done. It wasn't like this weird, gross romance or anything. It was just like, these are two people who have clearly trauma bonded and they're navigating that.
Exactly. It's not like Speed 1 where Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves like have sex over their trauma. Like, I mean, these two are just...
I was listening to a review of Speed actually, where they were like, yeah, the romance is shoehorned in, but I have never wanted to see two people fuck more. So
that's true. Yeah. It might be shoehorned, but it's a shoehorn we all wanted.
We all wanted it.
We all wanted it. So given how we feel about this one, would you recommend this one?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's a letdown after the first movie. I think it's not as good, but I think it's still like a pretty worthy sequel.
Yeah, definitely. And it definitely leads on to a third one. So you've got to watch all 3, right? You've got to watch this trilogy when it comes out.
Very excited.
It's gonna be brilliant. Very, very excited. Amazing. Well, that was awesome. I loved those. Thank you so much for bringing them to our attention.
I'm thrilled I got to watch the first one again and the second one for the first time.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was absolutely fantastic. Oh, I'm so happy. So speaking of happiness, what is your gratitude for this week?
My gratitude for this week, Chad, you know what you don't appreciate enough until it's gone is your appetite. like as you
sweet
know,
honey
I mean, both of
child.
us love food. Like we love good food and we
Yeah,
love eating. And
so much.
I'm not doing that right now.
Oh, bless you, little sick
I'm
pickle.
taking probiotics and stuff so that my body can catch up. But yeah, at the
Mhm.
moment, just my metabolism has come to a dead halt. And I miss
Oh,
it. I
bless you.
miss eating.
You miss putting food in your body?
Yeah, last night when I was sick, I was Rudy had been so sweet looking after me. I was like, oh, I'll order you something nice off Uber Eats. And I was scrolling through Uber Eats and I was like, but I want something nice off Uber Eats.
Oh.
So yeah, appreciate your appetite and metabolism and ability to eat snacks today.
There you go. Be grateful that you like food, guys. Come on. Eat and on that basis, eat something for Simone. When the next thing you eat, think of Simone because she needs it.
I ambitiously this morning bought a bunch of donuts for me and Rudy and our housemate to share. And now I can't.
Oh, Simone, you can do it. Okay, after the podcast,
I might take a small bite of
little
each.
nibble.
I just want to taste.
Yeah, just like a little nibble. Go for it. I believe in you. I believe you can do this.
Thanks.
Yeah.
What's your gratitude?
I am super duper grateful for my friends and family. It's been my birthday weekend.
Yay!
So yeah, everyone's just been like the sweetest and it's been so lovely. And yeah, I couldn't be happier. My girlfriend has just been the most delightful human being and treated me like an absolute angel. And yeah, I've never been looked after this well in my life. And I just feel so loved and happy and just like a little happy little burrito.
Look at you,
I'm
just a
happy
loved little bug.
Yeah, I'm so happy. And there we go. We're both 28 now. This is fun.
Look at us.
This is okay, I guess.
We're doing it.
We by force, not by choice. We're doing it by choice. Oh, it's gonna be fine. We'll be fine. 30 years, 2 years away. It's gonna be all right. Yeah. So, what do we feel like doing next week, Simone?
Shall we? So ages ago, well, okay. Story time for our listeners. My dad has started listening to the podcast on his commutes. Hi, Dad.
Yes. Hi, Dad.
It's very sweet. It makes my heart very happy because he texts me and he's like, oh, I just listened to your mermaid episode. Very funny. Love listening to your voice. It's very cute. It makes my heart glow. And he has had one recommendation for us, which is a Spanish horror movie week.
Yes, I love it.
Hang on, let me find the message. Let me find this message from my father. Sorry, I send my dad a lot of texts.
Yeah, you love your dad. I think it would be weird if you didn't.
Okay, so there's a Spanish movie called The Bar.
The Bar, okay.
And one called The Skin I Live In.
Ooh, that sounds really like Cannes Festival.
And so just to quote my father, my suggestion is that you and Chad review these movies while drinking Spanish wine with some tapas thrown in, which you can also talk about in your own distinctive style.
Ooh.
So I might maybe cook up a sangria for myself next week. We can. I don't think we'll eat while we're recording, just because I don't think y'all want to hear the crunching.
Oh yeah, and tapas is very, very crunchy.
The way I make it. But yeah, I'll cook up some sangria, and we can do that.
That sounds lovely. And the Spaniards know how to do a horror film. They smash it out of the park every single time. So I'm very keen on that. That's good. Do we know the years of these Spanish films? Just in case we get it wrong.
I did not get
it.
So that'll be fun for us.
We'll discuss, and we'll discuss off air and try and figure that out. Maybe we should have tapas before the recording, and then it's proper Spanish.
Yeah, I'll take a picture of my. I mean, also though, it's like super early for both of us to have tapas. Tapas is traditionally around 6 p.m.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
I think if you have it before 6 p.m., it's just snacks.
Yeah, exactly. So That will
We'll
be an
figure it out.
interesting
We'll work it out.
development for us, in the future. Do you remember that amazing tapas restaurant that your parents took us to?
Yes, Fork.
In Cape Town. Fork, that was incredible.
It was
Guys,
so
if you're ever
good.
in Cape Town and Fork is
tasty.
still around, go to Fork.
Yeah,
It's
I'm actually
incredible.
not sure.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Mm.
It's quite expensive, to be fair. So
It's pretty pricey. But
Yeah,
tapas
yeah.
usually is for some reason
exactly
in Cape Town.
Exactly. Overpriced snacks. That's what it is. But guys, thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate you. Tell us your feelings on tapas. Tell us your favorite foreign horror movies. Tell us your favorite domestic horror movies. Tell us what you're watching this spooky season and what you plan on catching up to this spooky season. You've got like 3 seasons of Castle Rock. You've got both Hauntings of Hill House and Bly Manor.
And
There's
Mike
thousands.
Flanagan's latest Midnight Mass.
There you go. So there's loads to catch up on, but we want to hear what you're watching, and you can do that where, Simone?
They can talk to us on Facebook or Instagram at Fresh Tomatoes Podcast, on Twitter at Fresh Tomatoes MP. They can email us at freshtomatoespodcast@gmail.com.
There you have it. And as we say at the end of every episode, we love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
We love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Goodbye. Bye.